guys, what happens when you have a homeowner that is underwater, in foreclosure, the house needs repairs, it's not in a good area, and there's code enforcement liens on the property that are double what the house is worth? I'm gonna roll the credits, but when I come back, I'm gonna show you how to profit on these kinds of deals. Hey guys, Carrie from Carrie Buys Houses, and I like to say it is always a seller's market. So today's video, we're gonna talk about a real life situation that happened to us a few years ago where a seller called us and she was in a really distressed situation. This was not just a motivated seller, this was a distressed seller, and there were a few reasons why. Here was her situation. She had this house and it was not in a very good area, okay? So the house was in a so-so area. I call it so-so, okay? Okay. The house was vacant. She had already moved out of it. So she now has a vacant house. It's in a not so great area. Okay. The house is in foreclosure. Okay. She had stopped making the payments on the mortgage a few months back. The house was also underwater, which meant she owed more on the mortgage than what the house was worth. Okay. Also, additionally, the house needed repairs, and not just little repairs. It needed major repairs. There was an unpermitted addition that wasn't done correctly. There was a roof that had been leaking for years, and so the inside of the house was really nice, but when you walked in, there was mold everywhere. So it needed a new roof. It needed mold remediation. The unpermitted addition needed to be fixed. There was a lot of repairs. Lastly, there were code enforcement liens on this property because of the roof and because of the unpermitted addition. Okay, so there was code enforcement liens. But what was crazy is these liens were from 3 years ago. And whenever you had a code enforcement lien, typically there's like a daily fee or a monthly fee. And so the fees had added up so that they were double what the house was actually worth. Okay, so now we have a vacant house in a not so great area that's in foreclosure, that's underwater, that needs major repairs, and that has code enforcement liens on it. A lot of people would probably walk away from this situation. And at first, you guys, I wanted to, okay? But as I started looking at it, I thought there is a way to help this woman out of this situation, because really she just wanted to walk away. She wanted to move on. Okay? She knew she wasn't gonna profit from this, but she needed someone to come in with some creativity to help her out of these situations that she was in. So I couldn't do anything about the so-so area. I'm not gonna change the area. Vacant, I could put a mobile home alarm system in it. We use Simply Safe, which can go from house to house to house. So I lock it up. I put a security system in there to protect my interest because we had this under contract. Let's talk about the foreclosure. I found out that she had a private loan in place. She didn't know how to get in touch with the lender. It was a private loan that she had taken out. So what did I do? I Googled. She gave me the information on the private lender. I Googled him. I think I found him on Facebook or somewhere. I asked him to reach out to me, that I was an investor in Florida and I was interested in a home that I thought he might have a mortgage and a note on. He contacted me. Sure enough, he was the lender. And I told him I'm interested in possibly purchasing this house, but I see that it's in foreclosure, and I see that it's underwater, and I see that it needs a bunch of repairs, and he didn't even realize that there was code enforcement liens on it. So he was very motivated to get his money and move on as well, because the lender was not in a good situation on this property. So I worked with him on a short sale agreement. He said, I just want the money that I put into it. If I can recoup some of it, if not most of it, then I'm good. So what happened was we did a short sale situation. He was willing to accept a certain amount for the property, which was lower than the balance of the loan. And he was willing to take out all of the fees that had accumulated with the default on the mortgage, okay? So we worked out a short sale situation with the lender. He also said that we also had an agreement that he was not going to foreclose on the house until I took care of what else needed to be taken care of, because I knew this was not going to be a 30-day close. There were some things we had to work out. So he said, I will not proceed with the foreclosure while you have it under contract, and I'm willing to discount the balance of the mortgage to this amount so that we can move forward. I can get some of my money back. She can move on. Okay? So this now took care of the underwater situation and the foreclosure. Okay? Now, repairs needed. I did not want to buy this house myself. I didn't want to fix and flip it because it was in a not so great area. There was just too many repairs on it for my experience level at that time. So I said, well, I'm going to wholesale this. I bet you I can find someone who wants this property. So I started looking for an end buyer to wholesale this contract to. And in the meantime, I worked with the county, with the code enforcement liens, and I went to them and I said, I have a house, I'd like to purchase it. The code enforcement liens are double what the house is worth right now. How can you help me? So I got an agreement from them that said, we basically just want the money that we have into it back out. They were willing to greatly reduce the amount of fees that had accumulated with this lien that was on the property. So we got that in writing from them that they would agree to decrease the lien to, $150 versus $200,000, right? It was something crazy like that. Okay, so at closing, we made sure that this arrangement was in place so that the end buyer could fix the roof. Basically, code enforcement said, as long as you fix the roof, okay, all you have to pay us is like $150 and we're good. So we gave that to the end buyer when we wholesaled it, so he knew what to do in order to get those liens off. He was the one that was going to do the repairs because we wholesaled this to him, not us. The lender was happy because he no longer had the liability of possibly owning this house one day, and he got some of his money back. Okay? The seller was obviously happy because she no longer had a vacant house in a not so great area with all these things going on. And we made a little profit. This wasn't a huge wholesale assignment, you guys. I think I made like maybe $5,000 on it, if that. Might have been a little bit less. Okay, but it was such a great learning experience, number one. And I think we closed this in, I think it was 30 to 45 days after I put it under contract. So it really didn't, it wasn't a stressful event. I didn't put a lot of time and effort into it. It was Googling the lender and talking to him and getting something in writing from him that said he would do a short sale on this and accept less than what he was owed. Okay, it was talking to the county about reducing the code enforcement liens. It was throwing it out there to find an end buyer who wanted to buy it so that I could wholesale this. And in the end, the seller got to walk away. She wasn't foreclosed on. She didn't have the liability of the house. The lender got paid, and the end buyer got this house that I think his sons were moving into it. He was kicking his sons out because they needed their own place. Oh, and the county no longer has this on their books, right? They no longer have to come out and do whatever they need to do to the house because eventually they removed the lien, and it's no longer on their radar anymore. So how many people won in this situation? 4, right? Me, the seller, the lender, the buyer, the county. So that's 5 people. And I get to make some profit on it. And I learned a lot about reducing code enforcement liens and short selling with private lenders and wholesaling. And it was just a great experience because this was in the beginning of my investing career. And I made $5,000. So, you guys, when you have these kinds of situations, sometimes you have to get really creative. And you can't be married to the outcome. In this situation, my vision was to wholesale this, but I didn't know if I was going to be able to. I wasn't sure how it was going to go with the code enforcement lien. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to contact the private lender and be able to get what I needed to get for it as a short sale in order to wholesale it. I just wasn't sure, but I put it under contract and I let the seller know, I'm not sure if I can do anything with this, but I am going to try. Okay, I am going to try. Give me 30 to 45 days and let me see what I can do. And sure enough, she was so happy. Everyone moved on. It was a win-win-win-win-win for so many people, okay? So I just wanted to share this because it was kind of a cool thing. Learned a lot. Hope you guys did too. If you have someone, if you know someone, you or someone you know has a house that they need to sell, please go to carriebuysHouses.com. All my contact information is there. And you guys, if you have a situation like this where you're like, I have no idea what to do with this, we do joint venture with partners. So give us a call. Happy to take a look at it and see what we can do for you. I will see you on the next video.